In 1973, the Supreme Court of the United States made a historic decision that would forever change the landscape of reproductive rights in the country. The case, Roe v. Wade, centered around the issue of abortion and whether it should be legal or illegal. The ruling ultimately declared that a woman has a constitutional right to choose whether to have an abortion based on her right to privacy. This decision was groundbreaking and has been highly debated ever since. The story of Roe v. Wade began in 1969 when a young woman named Norma McCorvey, using the pseudonym Jane Roe, filed a lawsuit against Henry Wade, the district attorney of Dallas County, Texas. McCorvey was pregnant and wanted to have an abortion, but Texas law only allowed abortions if the life of the mother was at risk. With the help of her attorneys, Linda Coffey and Sarah Weddington, McCorvey challenged the constitutionality of the state's restrictive abortion laws. The case made its way through the legal system, eventually reaching the Supreme Court. On January 22, 1973, the court released its landmark decision. In a 7-2 vote, the majority opinion, written by Justice Harry Blackmun, held that a woman's right to an abortion fell within the right to privacy protected by the 14th Amendment. However, the court also recognized that the right to choose is not absolute and must be balanced against the government's interest in protecting the potential life of the fetus during the latter stages of pregnancy. The decision in Roe v. Wade was met with both celebration and outrage. Supporters of abortion rights hailed it as a victory for women's autonomy and reproductive freedom, while opponents argued that it infringed upon the rights of the unborn. The ruling ignited a fierce and ongoing political and social debate that continues to shape the landscape of American politics. In the years following the Roe v. Wade decision, state legislatures across the country implemented various restrictions and regulations on abortion. These measures included mandatory waiting periods, counseling requirements, parental consent laws, and targeted regulation of abortion providers, TRAP, laws. The goal was to limit access to abortion services and impose additional burdens on women seeking to terminate pregnancies. Efforts to overturn or undermine Roe v. Wade have been ongoing since its inception. Pro-life advocates and conservative politicians have sought to appoint judges who might be inclined to overturn the decision or uphold stricter abortion restrictions. At the same time, pro-choice activists and organizations have fought to protect and expand access to abortion services, especially in states where restrictions have been enacted. Despite the ongoing controversies and challenges, Roe v. Wade remains the law of the land in the United States. However, individual states have significant influence over the accessibility and availability of abortion services within their borders. This has resulted in a patchwork of laws and regulations that differ from state to state, creating disparities in access and placing additional burdens on women who wish to exercise their constitutional right to choose. The legacy of Roe v. Wade extends beyond the realm of reproductive rights. It sparked a wider national conversation about privacy, personal autonomy, and the role of the government in individuals' lives. The decision set an important precedent for the court's interpretation of personal liberties and has influenced subsequent cases addressing issues such as same-sex marriage, transgender rights, and healthcare decisions. In conclusion, Roe v. Wade is a landmark Supreme Court case that forever altered the discourse around reproductive rights in the United States. It affirmed a woman's right to choose whether to have an abortion based on her right to privacy. The decision has been both celebrated and criticized, igniting a passionate debate that continues to shape American politics. While the future of Roe v. Wade remains uncertain, its impact on the nation and the ongoing fight for reproductive rights cannot be denied.